Let's talk about MapReduce. So what is MapReduce? MapReduce is a processing framework in Hadoop ecosystem. It consists of two phases called mapper phase and reducer phase. The mapper phase is responsible to read the input data from various sources. Now this data can be in form of files or reading directly from relational databases or some other Hadoop system. Now once we have this data, it is split up into small chunks and each of the chunk is given to one map process at a time. And this is how a huge input data can be distributed across various different processes which are running in parallel. And we can process this whole amount of data in a very small time. Each map process actually reads the data, do some processing on it, and generates an output in key value pairs, as you can see the intermediate data on the screen. Once we have this data from mappers, these key value pairs are sent over to the next phase called reducer phase. Within the reducer phase, we can have multiple reduce processes running at a time. And the job of the reduce process is to aggregate the data received from the mapper phase and generate some final result. The simplest example to understand this whole process is to consider word count example. Let's say we want to count occurrences of each word in a book. So the text of the book will be our input data. Now each map process will read few pages worth of the text as its input and generate various key value output where keys will be say the word and the value will be the number of times that word has occurred in those pages. Now imagine that each of the map process is doing this and generating a list of words and the number of occurrences. So finally, each map process will send its output to the reducer phase. And in reducer phase, same key, which are the words in our case, will be sent to the same reducer. So it can aggregate total count of occurrences for a given word. That's how in the end, the result will consist of a list of words followed by total number of occurrences in the entire book. And finally, the result will be saved into a file or it can be loaded into a database. Now you know a little bit about MapReduce and how it works. Let's create a MapReduce program in our upcoming lessons to build a real-world example of a data pipeline. I see you in the next class.